Hey, it's Patti Scharf, CPA and co-founder of Catching Clouds, a leader in e-commerce accounting. Welcome back to another Saturday Slowdown, where I like to remind everybody to work on their business and not just in their business. All right, so today we're talking about accounting advisory services. And before you fall asleep, I'm talking both to accountants and to e-commerce sellers. The sellers I want to talk to more on like a consumer level, as people who are buying the accounting advisory services, and then to the accountants who have been going to conferences all year, last year, probably even the year before that, as you're hearing more and more people talking about how important it is to be working in advisory. So I want to talk about like what that means to me, where I think the industry is going, and what all is there. Okay. So first of all, I kind of feel like advisory is just a buzzword. I think people are making too much out of it. I feel like accounting firms, but pretty much any services industry, they have been offering advisory services since the beginning of time. They offered it before, they're offering it now, they're offering it into the future. And it's something that's just kind of being repackaged a little bit. What advisory is, I mean, if you think about it, it comes from the root word advice. So it's really when business owners are looking for advice, and when it comes to accounting, that's specifically around their business and their business's finances, typically. Business owners are looking for advice, and the people who have that knowledge are the ones who are offering the advisory services, right? So let's just talk about e-commerce sellers as an example. The kind of advice that you need and the kind of help that you're looking for is going to change depending on the size of your business, what stage you're in, what your goals are. So maybe somebody who is just starting out, they haven't built up a network yet of people that can help them with their business. They just want to know enough to stay out of jail. They maybe need to know some of the basics of accounting or how to use software or whatever. They're just kind of getting started. And when they're looking for somebody to help them with that, there are tons of companies out there who can help them with that. And just because they don't call that advisory doesn't mean that they're not giving advice, and they're not holding their hand, and they're not helping troubleshoot the problems that they're having at that stage. And then on the flip side, when you go to more established sellers, which is really in the market that Catching Clouds plays in, we've got more complex issues where people are looking for help on cash flow or sales tax, or they're selling on 16 different shopping carts, and they want to figure out how to put all that together and figure out whether their business is actually profitable or not, and just things like that. Or on another scale, like with taxes, like people still need to file their tax returns, and accountants since the beginning of time have been not only preparing the tax returns, but also helping guide people through decisions, tax planning, and all of that. Like all of those different things, all I would say falls into advisory services. I would also say that the best firms the firms that are doing this most successfully are going to be the ones who are specializing in a particular industry. If they have a niche, then they are learning all kinds of information. They've got a much deeper understanding of the challenges in a particular industry, or the kinds of challenges that their clients have because they're seeing the same challenges over and over and over. Or somebody else might specialize in just working with startups, or just working with businesses that are exiting. They're working on selling their businesses or something like that. So the companies that are really focused on a particular service or a particular size of client or type of client or whatever, they're going to have a step ahead when it comes to this advisory kind of thing. Now, when I started, I said that, past, present, future advisory, it's been around since the beginning of time, and they're just kind of calling it something else. So why is there this big push all of a sudden in the last couple of years towards advisory? And I think that there are a couple of different reasons for it. I think one reason is the fact that I think business itself is a lot more transparent and accessible than it was even 10 years ago. Like, what I'm talking about is the existence of Google reviews, the existence of Yelp, the existence of Twitter. If you are not serving your clients well, then everybody's going to know about it. Whereas 10 years ago or even before that, people didn't really hear about it. I think that e-commerce sellers or small businesses in general, when they're looking for a service-based business to help them out, like accountants and things like that, they're going to be doing some homework on you. And if you aren't up to snuff, if you don't have higher level skills, if you can't walk the talk, then people are going to know right out of the gate. So it's really important for the accounting industry as a whole to upskill and understand their clients more deeply and provide better services and just help out the small businesses, right? The other thing that's going on in our environment that I think is causing this big surge of people talking about advisory is automation. So I think there are a lot of people who are a little bit scared about what automation is going to do. So it was the same thing like when computers came around. We had people with the green eye shades and the ledger paper and stuff like that, tallying up stuff by hand. And then computers came around and they're like, oh no, I'm going to be out of a job. And of course that did not happen, because we still need people to do that work, to do the accounting work. It's just the methods of how it's being done is different than it was done, 100 years ago. And I think we're going through a new evolution now where we've got Zapier and we've got bots and we've got AI and machine learning that's all kind of just starting to emerge. And people are starting to think, oh my gosh, if I am not coding these transactions by hand, what am I going to do? And the answer is the same answer it's always been, which is help your clients. Help your clients with the stuff that they need. You find out what's causing them to lose sleep at night, and then because you understand finances, you have been living in this space, you know how you can help them. But I think when the accounting industry is saying to focus on advisory, I think they're having a hard time articulating what that actually is, because it's going to be different for every company, every industry, for some people it might be more helping with financing. With somebody else it might be putting systems together. With other people it might be a specialization in sales tax. Like, it's going to look different for everybody. But in every case, I think it's going to be more of a focus on the client and less on the work. I think that a lot of people used to be, they would call themselves bean counters. They would this is what they did. They did accounts payable, they did accounts receivable, or whatever. Now everybody has to shift and start focusing on the client and what they need and how they can best help them. And honestly, that's how business has been since the beginning of time. The ones who do that well, they're going to succeed, and the ones who don't, not so much. So I don't know. This is just kind of what I'm thinking. I don't know if you guys have other comments. If you do, please leave them down below. I'm happy to always respond to comments and see what other people are thinking in the industry. I hope you like this video. If you did, please like, comment, and share. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and I'll catch you later.